All right, let us welcome back to the program Dustin Jacoby. He is back at action this Saturday against Ion Cutelaba. This should be a banger for sure. Dustin, how are you, man?
I'm great, Mike. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to catch up with you and talk some fight business.
Absolutely. It's great to have you back, sir. First off, this fight came together pretty quickly. Devin Clark was originally supposed to have this fight on Saturday, but you are in. How do we get to this point? How did you enter the fray, so to speak?
Yeah, I just got a call from my management team and last Sunday, I guess it was, and told me that there was an opportunity to fight Cutelaba. And I talked to my coach. He loved the matchup, and I loved the matchup myself. So here we are, man, fighting this Saturday night at the Apex and right where I feel comfortable and feel at home. So I'm excited to get it popping.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, you have had quite a year, man, from the Contender Series, 2 wins in the UFC since August, all in Las Vegas. How would you describe these last 8 months or so, man? It's been like a whirlwind for you?
Not really a whirlwind, man. I've been doing this profession for 10 years now. So it just kind of seems like another day at the office, to be honest. Obviously, it's great to be back with the UFC. I had my opportunity on the Contender Series. I made the most of it and was fortunate enough to be given a contract by Dana and went out there and made the most of my next 2 opportunities. And I got rewarded by getting a new contract to the UFC for this fight. And, like I said, it's the biggest thing is just getting comfortable at the Apex. I feel very comfortable there. This will be my 4th time competing there and 4th time competing with no crowd, which is a major bummer. And I can't wait until I can get back out there and fight with a crowd like this past weekend, man. That place was electric. And I can't wait for that, man. I'm super pumped for that opportunity.
I was just going to say, it's like a week removed from the crowd and then back to the Apex. And I know you're comfortable there, but there's got to be a part of you that's a little bit bummed after seeing how ruckus that place was this past Saturday.
Oh, dude, there's every ounce of me is bummed that there's not going to be a crowd Saturday. But you know what? As I told my wife, I said that to her. I was like, man, look at this crowd. Like that's what people want to see. The people are there. That crowd was kind of like a big, tossing the bird up to everybody. Like, we're here, man. We want to be back. We want to be back to normal. We want to be back to watching live sports. And I told my wife, man, I wish I had that. And she's like, hey, relax. You're going to have that. You just can't see them. So she's right, man. There'll be a lot of family and friends and people tuning in. I just won't be able to see them. And, it is what it is. Hopefully we get them back soon.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to look at it. And of course, your guy Anthony Smith looked tremendous in that fight. It was a lot of fun with Jimmy Crute. Ended kind of unfortunately with the injury, but great first round. It was very enjoyable to watch. What did you think of Anthony going out there and continuing to prove the doubters wrong?
Oh, dude, I was so happy for Anthony. I knew Jim and hats off to Jimmy Crute, man. That guy is an animal, extremely tough. He's hungry, up and comer, and you never know, man. I may be dancing with him here in the near future sometime. But I could tell, right? I was nervous for Anthony just because of the competition, man. I knew Crute was young and hungry and coming for Anthony's spot. When I saw Anthony start that walkout and start embracing with the crowd and how well the crowd loved him, I immediately I looked over to everybody I was there. I was like, man, Anthony's going to win this. Like, there was zero doubt in my mind. He looked awesome. He was just relishing in the moment, and he went out there and delivered, man. It was an awesome fight. Super unfortunate that it ended the way it did. But then again, that's Anthony going out there and delivering a fight-ending blow. That's what we're paid to do, and that's what we signed the contract to do, to go out there and do whatever it takes to get your opponent out there, and he did that. So I was super excited for him, and glad I was in the training room getting him ready. So, it made me comfortable to take this call and accept the challenge for next Saturday.
Yeah. I felt the same way. You heard Return of the Mac blast over the speakers. He's walking out and having a good time. And right there and then I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a scrap.
Oh yeah.
He was in good spirits.
No doubt, man. Yeah, he was in great spirits. And so was Crute, man. Hats off to both guys. It was just phenomenal matchup. And of course, I'm happy my teammate and friend got it done.
Your most recent appearance, you fought Maxim Grishin. It was a fun fight. It was super close, good little scrap. And both of you guys showed your toughness in that fight. What did you take away from those 15 minutes after getting a quick knockout in your first fight?
Yeah, man. Max Grishin is extremely durable, extremely tough. He's a gritty, crafty veteran. I knew he was going to be it. And I come away from that fight with so much confidence. And so I was just so proud to get that victory and happy with myself because, Grishin is not an easy out for anybody. I honestly don't think there's many people in the light heavyweight division that beat that guy. And then on the other side of that, dude, he's probably the biggest light heavyweight that I'm going to face. So, I'm happy to get that out of the way. I'm happy to go against a veteran like that, somebody that really pushed me to the core. There was no doubt that he won round 1, and then I thought I did a good job of winning rounds 2 and 3, and that's exactly how the judges saw it. I ended up winning by unanimous decision, and they saw it the way I saw it. They saw it the way that I felt it in there, and again, to be able to go toe to toe. At the end of the day, people can say what they say, but I'm the one that get in there and I do this, and I'm the one that stood toe to toe with him for 15 minutes, and it gives me just the utmost confidence to just keep going forward. And now I got another tough fight in Ion Cutelaba, but he's not a monster like Grishin is. I feel so much more relaxed and comfortable going into this fight, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I would agree. Were you getting flack for the Grishin fight? Were people saying like he was robbed or anything like that? Like, what was the feedback you got?
No, I got pretty positive feedback. I mean, listen, we all know it was a very close fight. It's I've had those fights in my career where I've been on the losing side, and it's like, yeah, I look in the mirror like I didn't lose that fight. The judges said I lost the fight, but I don't feel like I lost the fight. So you just got to keep going, and when you win or when you lose like that, it's tough. But no, I didn't get much flack. I think a lot of people saw it the same way. I think they saw that he won round 1, and I think they saw that I won rounds 2 and 3. And after rewatching it, that's exactly how I saw it as well. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. And I was just happy to get that victory.
How's the golf game these days? I assume you've had to get off the course a little bit because you got a fight to prepare for, but how you been swinging the sticks here?
Yeah, I've been playing really well this year, to be honest. I've yet to get around in the 70s. I had, right after that Grishin fight, I had my guys golf trip out in Vegas, and I was out there for a week, and I've made a goal of not getting north of 90, not posting a 90 or more score like the past few years. And early on, I always have that round out in Vegas in like March golf, when you're not in your prime shape and golfing season. I always kind of go north of 90. Well, this year I had an 88, I shot an 86, and then 2 81s out in Vegas. So I'm pretty confident I'm not going to go north of 90 this year. I played Saturday and Sunday this weekend, and I reeled off back-to-back 80s, which is a little disappointing because I missed so many short putts, man, that should have put me at like a 76, 77. But yeah, man, golf game's good. I play, and then, as a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be playing in a scramble right now. My wife's playing with another one of my buddies. I couldn't do it. I had training this morning, and I didn't want it, with it being fight week. I didn't want to. I wanted to kind of suffer a little bit. I didn't want to be out having fun. I want to be inside. I've got training this morning. I was training this afternoon. I just wanted to be, like I said, a little bit of suffering before I go into this fight.
There you go. So, Ion Cutelaba, I mean, I'm sure you are well aware that he's quite the personality. He's a bit of a wild man, to say the least, in that octagon. So, like you said, you fought Maxim Grishin, who's a big, powerful guy, huge in stature. This matchup, I would guess, is stylistically your cup of tea, to say the least.
Oh, 100%, man. And look, Ion is a great opponent. He's a great competitor. I've been watching this guy for the past couple of years. Like you said, he's a guy that sticks out. A lot of the fans know who he is. I think he fights with a lot of emotion from the time the weigh-ins start. He's a pretty emotional guy, and I think that drains a lot of his energy, and that's something that's definitely going to be playing in my favor. I think the hardest part of the fight is going to be the first 2 or 3 minutes, and once I weather that storm from him, I think I'm just going to completely take over, man. I love the matchup, and I've fought. He's not a heavy wrestler. He's not a heavy grinder, grappler. He's not going to try to take me down and hold me down. So I'm not worried about that. And I've fought, the best strikers in the world under the Glory kickboxing promotion, and guys that, this fight right here, I'm not overlooking it. I know it's going to be a tough fight, and I'm excited for the challenge, but I tell you what, man, I have zero fear. I have zero doubt that I'm going to come out victorious.
He's been on a little bit of a rough patch as of late. I mean, he had the 2 fights with Ankalaev. He got a win in between, but he had the submission loss to Glover. He's fought tough guys. I mean, he does have a couple of stoppage wins over the last few years, but I mean, how do you sort of view this one? Like, do you think he's going to come out maybe a little more cautious, knowing he's likely in a situation where he pretty much has to win this fight, or, could be the last, or do you think he's going to like turn that wild man side of him up a couple of notches?
I think, to be honest, I think he might be a little more reserved. But with that being said, I fully expect him coming out hard, and I want him to come out hard. I think that's who he is. I don't think he can get away from that, even as much as he tries to maybe come out reserved. I think, it's just his fighting spirit, man. It's who he is. He's a warrior, and he's a madman. He wants to go balls to the wall, and I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm embracing that. Like I said, I think that's a little bit of a weakness of his, that he lets his emotions get the better of him. And I'm just excited, man. I know he's going to be throwing bombs, and I know he can catch me. He can knock out anybody. I know he's very capable of knocking me out. I just got to make sure I keep my distance. I'm a cleaner striker. We have a couple of tools that we've been sharpening and working on, and I got a couple of tricks up my sleeve that I think are going to work perfect for this matchup.
Of course, later on the card, another big one in your division in the main event between Dominick Reyes and Jiri Prochazka. Fun fight. How do you sort of see that one playing out?
Yeah, that's a really fun fight, man. And this Jiri guy, I'm a big fan of him. I remember the first time I watched him fight, I was like, man, I like this guy. And then he went out there and had a walk-off knockout. And, I'm going to be watching it closely. I'm going to get this victory. And after this victory, I'm wanting a top 15 opponent. I want to get close to that top 10 and maybe by the end of this year have a number next to my name. So those are two guys that I very well see myself competing with in the future. And, I'm a big fan of both guys. I think both guys are great athletes. I think both guys are great warriors. I think Dominick's a little bit better of an athlete, but I think Jiri's a little more unorthodox. He's a little more unconventional. He throws some crazy stuff, and he's really long. So both are scary individuals. I think Jiri has the power and the unorthodox and just the different style to maybe catch Dominick, but we'll see, man. I'll keep my eyes on both of them.
In terms of your fight, how do you see this one going out? Like, you're confident that you're going to emerge victorious, but this is a fight a lot of people have circled on their fight cards ahead of Saturday night. How do we get this thing done?
Man, I think I catch him. I really do. I think that, my precision and my striking is going to be better than his. And, I just got to watch out for them wild hooks. I'm going to keep it simple, man. Straight 1-2s right down the center. Look for those teeps and then maybe switch them into something else. And I think I catch him. I really do, man. I think that my power's there, and I've got something to prove too. 3 of my last 4 MMA fights have went to a decision. And, I look at myself as a finisher. So I need to go out there and make a statement and finish this guy and prove that I'm ready for the top echelon of that light heavyweight division.
Yeah. So let's get through this one, get a stoppage, and then let's get you on that July 10th card, because that kind of checks off 2 boxes. You're very comfortable in Vegas and you get to fight in front of fans. So I think that is that something you're kind of thinking about? Like, let's get in there and then let's get on that July 10th card and fight in front of the peeps.
Bingo, man. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm going to go out there and put this guy away. And, I'm going to try to get on that July 10th card, the Poirier-McGregor card, with the first fight back in Vegas with fans. That's exactly my mindset. That's my goal. So that's what I'm shooting for, man.
Well, there you go. I'm very happy for you, man. This is a great scrap. You have certainly been, in my opinion, one of the great stories in the sport over the last 8 months or so. And that story continues this Saturday, UFC Vegas 25. And I'm psyched for this fight, Dustin. Enjoy fight week, my man. All the best to you on Saturday. And hopefully when this is done, you get right back on the golf course and shoot somewhere in the 70s.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I've already got a tee time lined up for the Saturday after my fight. So I'm looking forward to it, man. But, like I said, this week's business as usual. I got a job to do, and then I'll enjoy that week that follows fight week. So I'm pumped.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate the time as always.
Thanks, bro. And then we'll catch up and we'll talk about this victory I get, and hopefully we can meet each other on a golf course one of these days.
See, now you're speaking my language. One of my goals in the next year or so is to do like an interview playing golf. Like, that's what I want to do with somebody. So maybe you can be the guinea pig when I'm out there.
Make sure I'm the guinea pig. Make sure I'm that first guy. I would love to, man.
I would love that as well. Thank you, Dustin.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good day.
You too, man.